Hey, Greg here for Party Foul. I got Scott behind the camera, and I'm going to cover something called the Balder Ghetto throw. Throw Ghetto at the opponent's caster and kill him.
Wow, that's like the best thing you could come up with?
That's the best thing.
That is the lamest thing I've heard.
We'll call it murderous solid ground throw, because those are some of the components that are necessary. And it's a way, if you haven't watched our video on throwing, I recommend that you go do that so you understand throws. I will kind of explain it as we go through it. This is not the only list that can do sort of precise throws like that, like this at extreme distance, but this is the one we're going to cover in this video. So we're going to go down and talk about the components necessary and kind of show you how far it can go. Okay, so come down to the table and we'll show you the components for this throw. Okay, so back here we got Balder the Stone Cleaver, and he's right up against that feral there. And at the beginning of my turn, he's upkept Solid Ground, and that's important because Solid Ground is a spell that prevents friendly faction models from getting knocked down in his control area. And that's important because we're going to be throwing Ghetto all the way down there to Vlad, who is about 19 inches away from Ghetto. And he needs to land in Balder's control area with each throw so that he's not knocked down. And I've also upkept Stone Skin on the feral, just in case I want to get an extra distance on the throw. And I'm going to start the turn by, usually I would start the turn by doing a complicated pre-measuring thing where I put bases down and stuff to make sure I get it all right, but we've sort of done that off camera. So I'll just start with the activations that I would do. So I'd start with the Pure Blood, and he's going to advance, so he's directly behind Ghetto and facing Vlad. And he's going to work for strength, and he's going to boost, or he's going to force himself to do a power attack two-handed throw, and he's going to boost a hit. And I'd recommend that if you haven't watched our video for throws, that you do so, because I will sort of explain it, but that video goes into more detail. So he hits easily. Now we do the strength test. The Pure Blood is 12. 12 with Warp for strength, and Ghetto is a 11. So Ghetto rolls a 17 and the Pure Blood rolls a 19, so he passes the strength test and he throws Ghetto 6 inches, because that's half of his strength stat currently. That far. And Ghetto lands right there. And at the end of that throw, Ghetto will take a POW 12, because that's the dude's strength. He doesn't take any damage because I roll double ones. Now the next part of the plan is to make sure that when I throw him with the feral, he's going to land within Balder's control area. So I believe that if I don't work for strength, I will be able to throw him so he lands in my control area. So the feral is going to advance. Oop, he's going to take Balder with him apparently. So he's directly behind Ghetto. He is going to force himself to do a power attack two-handed throw. He's going to boost a hit. He hits easily. Now the feral is 11 plus 2 for Stone Skin. So he's rolling 2 dice because he's doing a two-handed, or because he has 2 open fists. So 13 plus 9 is 22, and Ghetto rolls a 12. He easily throws him. He throws him 6 inches. Make sure I'm on the front of the base. To there, squishing that model because he's only like armor 11 or something. He takes a POW 13. Ghetto lands. He takes a POW 13, so dice off 4 for Ghetto. He takes 3 points of damage to 4. Mark that. Now, before... Oh, I forgot to do the primal. Oh well. Are you 7 inches away? Fuck! Talking through it is... Alright, he's in there for 7. Alright, so I did mess this up a little bit. The feral was supposed to primal the Shadowhorn prior to moving up and doing the throw on Ghetto, so we'll assume that I was smart and I did that. He's been primaled. Now I have to activate Balder to make sure that the final landing point for Ghetto is going to be in my control area and he doesn't get knocked down. So I'm going to measure it, and it's pretty tight the way it is. I'm only about an inch. The Shadowhorn is going to throw him 6 inches. So I probably, if I advance, I'm going to get there. If I charge, I think I'm going to have to clip a base. Maybe. Maybe not. No, I think I will. He'll end up there anyways. So he can't really charge any further, but he can advance to there. I suppose Balder could turn and primal the Shadowhorn if I had, you know, forgotten with the feral. I can check and see. That's extremely close. But we'll assume that I got it right. And he's going to land in Balder's control area. Nudge him up a little more. Maybe I was a little shy on his measurement. So if I hadn't already, I'll primal the Shadowhorn Satyr. The Shadowhorn Satyr will now advance 6 inches. And then he's going to force himself to leap. And that means he can be placed within, completely within 5 inches. So it can be placed directly behind Ghetto. Forced to do a power attack or a throw, sorry. Boost to hit. He hits. Now the goat's strength with primal is 12 and Ghetto is 11. So the goat is at dice +1. Goat rolls an 19, and Ghetto rolls a 17, so he passes. That's the first time he's passed. He's going to throw Ghetto 6 inches, so he's going to land pretty much there in front of Vlad. Land on this guy's base and kill him. And this is where we have to measure. And it looks like I would have thrown my control area, but let's assume that I did. So he lands in my control area, so he's not knocked down. He takes POW 12. And he actually takes 4 points of damage to his 6. And now Ghetto is there in front of Vlad. He's not primaled or anything, but Ghetto has an ability now where he can warp for Murderous, so he gets an additional die on his attack rolls. So he warps for Murderous, and then he's got 6 attacks at POW 14 for 1, and then POW 17 for 5 other ones with additional die to hit. And hopefully that kills him. So that is the Ghetto solid ground throw thing. That needs a better name, so please suggest one down in the comments. There's a number of complexities with it, obviously. Making sure that you throw him consistently in Baldur's control area so he's not knocked down. Making sure that the landing point is in Baldur's control area so he can be forced. And to make sure that you don't overthrow him so he lands on the target and it displaces behind him or something like that. And every time, and there's a lot of dice involved in it too. In this particular one, there's 3 attack rolls required and there's 3 strength tests required. And I've tried this sort of approach 3 times, and every single time the Shadowhorn has failed to beat Ghetto strength. So it can be very risky because you're using a lot of points of activations to get Ghetto there, but the idea is that you're potentially finishing the game. So how do you defend against this? Make sure that you have large bases in front of your caster so that they won't get to the caster. Basically, Ghetto will be thrown into base contact with the large bases, and if that happens, he's taking an additional die as well on the throw damage. So that's gravy. In terms of staying enough of a distance away, you can sort of add up the number of throws that the person can do. Generally, you can probably throw him consistently with 3 throws about 18 inches, 16 and 18 inches or something like that is pretty safe distance. And something else that you can use to guess the maximum distance is a Shadowhorn Satyr. Because he has the maximum distance that he can go forward to make the throw, you have to assume that the landing point for Ghetto is going to be within 12 inches of the Shadowhorn Satyr, and he can throw 6. So if you can eyeball that, then you can see, okay, I just don't want to be within 6 inches of that 12 inches plus base in front of the Shadowhorn. So if you do that math, it's 12 inches for the Shadowhorn's potential throw, 2 inches roughly for the base is 14, and then 6 inches for the throw is 20, plus the reach on Ghetto is about 22. So a considerable threat, but there's a bunch of stuff that has to go right for it to happen. And one of those things has to be keeping everything in Baldur's control area.
How many games have you tried this in?
3. And
how many times has it worked?
It's failed 3 times. The Shadowhorn Satyr almost always, well, he has always failed his strength test against Ghetto. A couple of times, though, I've been like, I want to get a little extra damage buff on Ghetto, and I put Stone Skin on him or something, and so he's strength 13 as opposed to strength 11. So I think I'm making a mistake with that. I need to just leave him unbuffed until he can get there. But a couple times I was using it, I wasn't actually trying to get to the caster. I was just trying to alpha strike with Ghetto and smash the crap out of a couple of heavies and get up on attrition in that sense. But I don't know if that's the right way to use it or not. So like I said, that's the needs a cooler name, solid ground Ghetto throw. If you have a suggestion, put down in the comments. We're going to do some other examples of thrown crazy war beast stuff. You can do it with a lot of different stuff. It just has to be, the model has to be steady that you're throwing. That's the main requirement.
Could be like Ghetto lawn bowling.
Ghetto
Bocci.
Ghetto Bocci. Okay, we like that one. But if you have any better suggestions, throw it out there. We'd love to hear it. So good luck with that. Don't fail your strength tests. Is that right? 15. I threw him out of my control area. Damn it.